A very warm welcome to all of you joining us for this live event. And today we're going to share with you the five pillars of boardroom excellence. And this is exclusively for private companies and family businesses. And today I'm joined by my business partner, Soin Shah, who's based in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm in London. And what we want to do is we seem to be getting this concern from many globally. And before we go into the topic itself, I'll just invite Soin. So over to you, Soin. Maybe you can say a few words before we start off.
Testing. Can you hear me,
Yes, I
Vijay?
can.
Unfortunately, I think we don't have sound from your side.
You don't have sound on
Vijay?
my side. Oh wow. Hello. Hello. Can you find out if people can hear us? Hi. Can for those joined in, could you please confirm whether you can hear me? Hi, can for those joined in, could you please confirm whether you can hear me? Hi, can for those joined in, could you please confirm whether you can hear me? Sorry about this.
Yes, Vijay, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So there's a little bit of echo on your side. Maybe you can put it on silent, your side. Thank you, Beatty, for confirming. Thank you. All right, fine. So over to you, Soin. Maybe you can just say a few words now that we can see that people can hear us. So over to you, Soin.
Yes, thank you, Vijay, and a warm welcome to our audience. Sorry for the slight audio technical issue. And I would like to warmly welcome the audience to this discussion, our live event on five pillars for board excellence. I would like to bring your attention to a webinar that we will be conducting very shortly on the 7th of July. And this will be mainly covering on the five impact drivers of an aligned and high performance board. I would want to impress upon you to actually register for this event. I will be posting the link very shortly on the live chat. Please make it a point. Trust you me, this training is going to be promising. We will be promising to give you some serious tools and strategies, and we will be sharing the laser model which all boards should consider implementing. I can see Vijay is smiling because I know he spent a lot of time researching on this. So I must say, and I would wish for all of you to register for this event. I am posting the event, and make sure you do register for it and do it. Make time to attend it as we look forward to hosting you. Over to you, Vijay, and let's commence.
Thank you, Soin. Yes, as Soin mentioned, there is going to be a webinar taking place, which will give you another layer of value altogether as far as governance, as far as board effectiveness is concerned for family businesses and private companies. Now, let us start straight on these five pillars of boardroom excellence. Why did we really bring this up? Is because we have observed and we have been getting these concerns from CEOs, from directors, from executives, from different observations, and from the business transformation services we provide, business appraisals, and from a governance standpoint as well. And some of the key challenges we have noted is that family businesses in many instances come up and say that, look, we have one meeting, they just have a management meeting, but they cover the sort of long term issues in that one particular meeting. We have come across that in many manufacturing organizations and service organizations as well. And in fact, one particular CEO who was the owner of this organization, he challenged me and said that, why do I need a separate board meeting altogether when we can have the discussions over tea, or if we can just have some discussions within ourselves, why do we really need to spend time and have these other meetings? Now, here's the thing: we will be giving you. I mean, the whole core issue here is that there has to be that distinction between boardroom segregation and the operations, the management itself. So that is key. So what we are going to do is that we're going to share these five pillars. So the first pillar that I want to share with you, and I would press upon you to make some notes because this is very important and very impact driven. The first pillar that we want to share with you is collective intentions. So what do I mean by collective intentions? As a board, now you could have five board members, you could have seven board members, depends on the size and complexity of your organization. As a board, be very clear about your vision and your purpose of your organization. This is the first step. You need to go on a retreat, go on a 2 or 3 hour retreat, but be completely clear of what your vision is and purpose is. In I mean, recently I was having this discussion with somebody in the manufacturing organization. They did not even have a clear vision. So it's very important to make sure that you have this in play. And another thing that you need to really do is make sure you have a specific point of destination. For example, 3 years from now, where do you want to be? A company approached me a couple of years ago and said that, and they had about 1,000 employees. And the CEO told was asking me that, look, we are here, we want to go up here. How do we go from here to here? So it's quite simple. You need to be very clear of what you mean by this, by way of revenue, by way of number of employees, by way of number of additional branches, additional assets, additional resources. You need to be very clear, crystal clear as to where you want to be. Once you have that, you will have the link. The second step is obviously getting the strategy out, the blueprint, as we put it. And the third is obviously having the tactics in place of how you're going to accomplish. So those are the three steps you need to do when it comes to this collective intention. My dear friends, if you get this one particular concept right, you will see the difference it's going to make in the decisions that you make, the choices that you make, because the impact is in the effectiveness in the decisions. The value that you're going to add depends on the choices that you're going to make. So this is very impact driven and very powerful. I'll ask Soin to share a few of his insights on this particular first point. So over to you, Soin.
Yes, thank you, Vijay. And definitely, we would like to discuss about the next aspect, and that is knowing your business inside out. Now, this is very important. Let me just pull it up. Basically, knowing your business. Yeah. Now, all your directors, and may I add, your executives must know the business inside out. Why is this important? You'll ask me. You will need to be able to make better decisions from 50,000 feet down. I mean, 50,000 feet up to down to the ground level. You must understand which are the key leverage drivers, the systems in place, the stakeholder management, operations, talent, and how the company adds value in order to make a profit. Now, another important aspect is changes in the customer and client behavior. Take an example of a mattress company, for example. You can buy a well designed mattress online at a very reasonable price. There are many online entrants who can pose a threat to such companies who may have employed hundreds or thousands of people. Now, as a business, as a director of a private and a family business, you must know your business inside out and balance how you spend your time. So this is one critical aspect I must impress upon you again and again, that you need to know your business as the back of your hand. Vijay?
Yeah, thank you, Soin. In fact, we've come across Many organizations have noted many directors. In fact, there was a service industry, and one of the
Yeah, thank you.
directors,
So, in fact, we have come across
um,
many organizations have noted
the
many directors.
preparation was not there. If you see where I'm coming from, and that was the key lacking point is preparation. So when is a director not prepared is when they have not really gone in depth and immersed and picked up the insights to really contribute in board gatherings. So this in itself is a key point: knowing the business, know the levels of the business. It doesn't matter how large or how small the business is, but knowing the business, looking into operations, just like what Soin is saying, looking into the operations, looking into the layer of the values being added at each and every stage, and looking into how the holistic picture is from a top down, as just like what Soin mentioned. So this is very important, because what is going to happen is that this is a wake up call right now, with costs rising, everything going up. It's a complete wake up call for many businesses. So at this particular point in time, what I would press upon you to look into is take more time. This may sound very simple, and you might say that, what, I mean, knowing your business, we know our business, but I have noted myself two brothers in a family businesses, in a family business, two brothers, one's a director, one's the CEO. But the fact of the matter is that the director did not know the business well enough. And when you don't know the business well enough, you will not be able to contribute, or you won't be able to make the decisions properly. So it's very important to focus and make sure that you know the business well. So this is the key point which we want to raise as far as this second pillar is concerned. So, over to you. What's the third pillar, Soin?
Yes, that's a very interesting one. And I want to bring you straight to the next point, and that is having the right board mix. Now, yes, the question that's out there is that do you have the right skills at the board level? This is one of the biggest missing links in our opinion. A right board mix doesn't necessarily mean you need to add to your board setup, though if you need to, you must. But let me share a practical scenario which we have witnessed. Two directors, one is forward looking and the other one is saving every little penny for the company. The forward looking proactive director wants actually to make a few decisions which involve a financial outlay. The other director refuses, as his intention is clearly to cut costs. This is where there is a complete chokehold, and in the middle of all this, there are clear blame games and outbursts of anger, as we all know. This is a very clear example in various companies, and that's what we have come across. You and I know this is absolutely not going to be good for business. Now, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have skilled directors, even if you are a family owned business. So, the question again is do you really have the right CEO in place? A son or daughter taking over from a father can really make a positive or negative impact to the sustainability of the business. I can tell you for a fact. We note, sadly, that in many occasions, several occasions, ego, attitude, and power positioning does not serve the company's growth well. And of course, a terrible culture is built. You all know what is the outcome of that. Vijay?
Yeah, thanks. So, can you change the banner? I mean, it's not know your business. I think it's the right board mix. If you can change the banner from your end. Kuldeep has said, "Hi, love. See you guys' insights, which are so deeply
Vijay?
related issues in industries." Thank you, Kuldeep. And Kuldeep, again, there's a webinar coming. I press upon you to register. I think so. And put up a link. And we've got very many people who have already registered. But anyway, here's the thing: the right board mix. Succession planning. What does succession planning really mean? It means planning for the future. It means having those future ready leaders in place. Now, when you have that mindset of future ready leaders, what does that really mean? You can't just give the baton over to your family members or whomever you want to give the baton, just because they've got some managerial experiences, or they are the chief operating officers, or some sort of title. The responsibility at the top is completely different. So this is why, at that macro perspective, the macro perspective itself is completely at a different level altogether. You're looking at linking long term. After all, what is sustainability? Sustainability is having a competitive advantage. Sustainability is looking into how you can scale up. This is the impact which sustainability has. And what does that really mean? That, this power positioning, ego, that's not going to work. If you really want to succeed, you need to be purpose driven as a board, and you need to have the right skill sets. And just like what Soin mentioned, you might need to have a board advisor or a board consultant, or whatever you call it, somebody who's validated and somebody who's got a track record of helping organizations succeed. So what you really need to do is make sure that you have the right people in a board. Recently, we were some time ago, there was this one particular board, and we were asked to appraise the board. We were completely blunt that the skill set was not there. In fact, not only the director role sort of skill set itself, but also some leadership skill sets as well, because they are intertwined. So this is why it is very important that you have the right board mix. Here's what I suggest you do: appraise and find out, 3 years in the past, how has your company been growing? What can you do to really look at the next 3 years, and how can you really add value? What are the contributory factors that is going to leverage growth for you as you move ahead? So in order for you to step up the game, you need to make sure that you have that loosely defined governance framework without regulations, of course. I mean, because as a family or private business, you need to make sure that you have that loosely defined governance structure in your organization, but with a mindset of making sure you have the right discipline, you have the right principles, and you're aligned to the values of your organization. You could have excellence, you could have integrity, whatever it is, but you're aligned to the values. So the board mix is very important. Getting the expertise, making sure that your board members must have financial know-how. By the way, we will be covering more in the webinar, but just to give you a quick recap, is that you need to make sure that you have financial know-how, the financial insights, but you also need to have that strategic ability to look at the direction the organization is going, and how you're going to course correct during the uh, coming months, coming years as well. So that is the thing. And how are you handling the challenges as well from a board perspective itself? So these are some key concepts which I want to share with you. The other thing is, obviously, you need to make sure you have those risk thresholds in place, risk boundaries, risk parameters, which we will cover in the webinar. But at the moment, I just wanted to share a few insights. But my dear friends, I just want to leave you with this thought: make sure you have the right board skills. Whatever the case, it is the biggest investment that you are going to make, but it is by far the one which is going to have the highest return on your investment. So I hope you take that into consideration. By the way, just let us know where you are from. We would love to hear where you are from. So please give a shout out on the comments. We can see Baidi, Kuldeep. So please let us know where you're from. If you have anything you want to share, please go ahead and share. We want to keep this short, so about 30 minutes or so. But if you have any questions, we are sure to take that one in. So do you want to move to the next point, and maybe you can change the banner?
Yes, Vijay, I just wanted to shout out, but thank you for recognizing Baidi Diang all the way, and Kuldeep Kumar Kamboj. Welcome on board. We also have James Gugi, who has come on board from Nairobi, Kenya. Um, I can see James is recognizing, is getting some valuable insights. Yes, we will move on to the next point, and that is innovation. And let me just start on this aspect, and that is, innovation is no longer a wake up call. It is a must for companies to survive. You must innovate. Take a simple example which is out there, and that is Tesla. They keep adding features and more value. More importantly, they seek ways to cut costs and make their EVs more affordable. As a board member, you must ensure that innovation is a priority discussion in board meetings, right? As of now, supplies globally are actually hampered. Shipments from China is delayed. The war in Ukraine is driving costs very high. Energy costs are all time high, and we do expect more uncertainties. In Kenya, in Kenya, we have this interesting thing of having. I know a lot of central bank and the governor does not recognize, but there is a shortage in the market of dollars which manufacturers are facing. It's clear because they are actually saying we'll have to curtail our production in order to, I mean, they don't have enough supplies of material because they're not able to pay for the materials which are coming from across the world with the dollars. Now, if dollars are a clear shortage, and these are the kind of things that we have, what do we need to do? So, what we are saying is we are in the midst of several moving parts. So, the companies must revisit all their moving parts and see how best they can look for alternatives. I'm sure it's not easy, but definitely considering what elements they can innovate on. The game has to completely change, as we know, and will keep changing. So, this is what we have said as an initial aspect, and we will be sharing more and more of this in our webinar, which is about having an aligned and high performance board. Vijay?
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say hi to Kumresh, who's all the way from Chennai, India. Baidi is from Senegal. So we've got a mix, a complete mix. But we are also joined by Rebecca Jenkins. And by the way, Rebecca is part of this webinar. She is our we are in this joint project of this five impact drivers of a aligned high performance board. So you Rebecca will be sharing her insights as well, and she has some real success stories and some turning points which she's going to share. So please, I press upon you to register for the webinar. Now, when we talk about innovation, like what Suin mentioned, what is going on? Well, I mean, we talked about this rising costs and everything. What do you really need to do? Innovation is no longer a wake up call. Disruption itself is even no longer a wake up call. Why? It's because of the convergence of technologies. What does that really mean? It means that the um, efficiencies are increasing. So, what do I really mean? Let me give you a specific example. And so, in touched on it, take Tesla for an example. What is Tesla researching on right now? What is the core component of a Tesla car? It's the battery itself. And they're testing on the battery to see how they can compress it and make it more efficient, but at the same time, lower the cost. So imagine the benefit from that particular standpoint. I just want you to see that particular perspective. Now, if you are in the banking sector, or if you are in the you know a manufacturing company, or if you are in an IT outfit, or if you're a startup, what does it really mean? What does innovation really mean? This means that it's the biggest opportunity. It means you have to better what you are already doing. How are you going to get your competitive advantage? It's by innovating. It's by coming up with the right innovation in place. Creativity is generating new ideas. You come up with new ideas, but innovation is really upping the game, as I put it. It's progressing. It's moving to the next level altogether. Look into all the moving parts in your particular business, in your particular sector, whatever your business is. Look into all the moving parts. By the way, not only internally but externally, because you have to connect to find out exactly what your money making recipe is, and find out what it is that you can add. You could add more value in your products or your services, what you are
Yes.
giving out, because you need to come up with, I mean, clients and customer behavior is changing, and you need to keep on matching that. And it's fluid, it's all over, we know it. It's keeping on changing rapidly. So it's very important to make sure that as a board of a private and family business, you innovate, and innovate uh, with a mindset of looking at each part and finding out exactly how and where you can really transform. And just keep on transforming your organization, bite size, and you'll see the impact it's going to make to the growth of your organization. I hope that makes sense. So, over to you.
We will move on to the next pillar, and this is an interesting one because we keep on talking about it, and that is asking incisive questions. Let me break the ice on this now. When we take the top four pillars into consideration, this is the final one, and this is what unfolds. Asking the right and relevant questions. You have the skills needed, you have the know-how, and you have a clear plan in place. Questions will always serve as the turning points for your business. They will elevate your intelligence. And by the way, even when you're conducting a self appraisal, you need to look inward and ask questions in order for you to stretch your thinking and capabilities. As we say, rise above the noise. Now, I want to talk about one meeting with the service industry, a private company, of course. The directors, who are mainly executive directors, who are passively listening without contributing much. When I started asking a couple of questions, the energy in the room completely changed. You could feel that there is a bit of uneasiness, but it led to the board being saved from making a huge mistake. Always prepare and have a set of questions to satisfy, and have as much facts in place as possible. Now, we would like to again go much more deeper, but I must say time will not allow. So I will hand it over to Vijay, and I'm sure he's itching to elaborate on this.
Well, I think Soin, you summed it well. But again, like what Soin is mentioning, questions lead to intelligence. Knowledge is getting the right answers. Intelligence is asking the right questions. And what are we doing? We are gathering intelligence. Whether it's Twitter or any platform you look at, it's all about gathering data and intelligence. This is what even including Tesla for that particular matter. So whatever business you are in, you need to gather intelligence. But here's the key thing. What is the biggest concern at board level? At board level for private and family business, the biggest concern is the choices that you're going to make. And where do the choices come from? It's through the risk exposure that you're going to have. How much reserve do you want? What sort of risks you are going to take? And then you are going to take those risks. Take Amazon, for example. They have very many failed projects. I mean, I was reading about Amazon. They've had many failures as well, but they kept on trying. What did they really do? They took bite-sized risks. So my point here is, when you ask incisive questions, and by the way, when you go home in the evening with your family member, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to say, how was your day? What did you do? What's for dinner, or whatever it is. It's all sort of question based. You'll note that everything, even if you meet your daughter or son or anything, you're going to say, how was your day? How was school? How was whatever it is, what happened in the playground? You're going to ask questions, because that is going to raise awareness as well. As a board, as a board, prepare. Preparation is very important. Prepare, align to the values like what we have said, but at the same time, Have those questions. And when can you have those questions? The incisive questions is when you are curious. And when do you have the curiosity? Is when you're linked to the purpose. You have the passion and you're linked to the purpose itself. That is when you're going to ask those right questions. And if you have got the mode dynamics right, which we are going to share in our webinar, the mode dynamics itself, if you got the mode dynamics right, then there is no question which is a dumb question, as you put it. So if you have that mode dynamics right, if you have the right balance, then you'll recognize, respect each and every question, because that in itself is a gold nugget. That in itself is a gold mine, and that value nugget is going to help your company make a huge impact. So it's very important. And this is, I just, my parting words, I'll just take 1 minute, but this is very important. Impact comes from insights. Insights come from immersion. Successful leaders immerse, they focus. So immersion is going to lead you to intelligence, and you get intelligence from asking questions. When you are in a project, when you are deeply immersed, a few questions are going to come out, and you'll realize that. And when you have that, you will see those breakthroughs coming through. So this is very important, that you understand the power of asking incisive questions. And even when you're appraising yourself, just like what Soin mentioned, you're going to ask those questions, that what have I done better? What new thing have I learned? How have I improved? What else can I do to improve? It's all questions, but then you are going to get those answers coming through as well. So connect the dots, my dear friends, and connect the dots by asking those right questions. And you will see how it's going to really take you to the next level. Now, look, I hope this short training here is helping you. And I think Alex is in as well. So, yes, Alex, nice to have you around. I hope this has really helped you. We wanted to condense this training, but we want to give you the best of the best insights. And like what Suin mentioned, that we are going to have this webinar on the 7th of July. And Rebecca Jenkins, me, and Suin will be sharing more insights. But we are going to share with you a model which is LASER, laser model itself. And after all, laser focus is what we normally talk about, but the thing is, laser model itself is going to give you more value. Today, we have just touched on a few things. In that particular webinar, we are going to give you this particular model, which is going to, we believe it's going to really be a game changer for you and your business, irrespective where you are. You could be in any part of the world, any continent, but this is going to really help you to have those pillars grounded and make sure that you add more value. So, I hope to see you there. So, in any last words?
Yes, I just want to say we hope you found these insights. I mean, insightful. We will be having the training on the 5 impact drivers for an aligned and high performance board. We look forward to hosting you on the 7th of July. Please make sure you register. I have put up the link in the chat. Now, as Vijay said, we are going to we are promising to deliver to you serious tools and strategies which you can use and implement. He's talked about the laser model, which will be an interesting one. And I assure you, once you implement that, you will have profound value. Now, that the training will be around 30 minutes or so. And again, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. We will also be giving out a complete board excellence appraisal, which you can implement for your board effectiveness. And all this is absolutely free. All you need to do is click on the link on this page or in the chat box, and you can simply need to enter your name and email to attend the training. And make sure you have it saved on your calendar. And I want to simply say we look forward to having you then. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
goodbye and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, I just want to give a shout out to Kinsley as well. He said, excellent session. Thank you, Kinsley. I'm glad you found some value. Please make sure, our mission is take 1 point from what we have discussed today. just use the replay, but take one point and practice, work on it and practice, make those changes, make those bite-sized changes, and see how it's going to help your organization scale up and move to the next level. So my dear friends, look, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in this particular webinar, but we'll be having other live events as well. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.